Right. So I was saying in the H4, you observe a level. It should give you 3 levels in the H1. And then you observe a level in the H1 should give you 3 levels in the daily. And I was saying our most important count is in the H1 levels, which gives us a weekly cycle. Then when we know the level, we know whether to expect another move or to expect a reversal. And I'm saying the best place to trade is when you expect a reversal. Like I said, the levels may complete in 3 to even 5 days, depending on the pair. Right. So I was saying there's a behavior that occurs at level 3. That is what we call level 3 behavior. So yes, we have moved our 1, 2, 3 cycle levels. At level 3, the approach is a bit aggressive. Then the market will be a bit choppy. You can't pick a direction in which it is going. It will be just moving around in a certain given range. So if you observe this kind of behavior, you know that you're at level 3, right? And then when it wants to go to the end, that's when that choppy behavior will give you a proper M or a W formation. So you realize that in the long run, let me extend this choppy behavior. In the long run, it will be chopping like this, down, then it starts chopping up, and then it chops down again to form an M, or if it is downward, it might chop like this. Still, it is not very, very stable, but at the end of the day, it will give you a W. Now, the good thing is that when you're at H1, some of this noise that you see on the 15-minute chart, you will not observe it on the H1 chart. Because remember, the 15-minute chart, you need 4 candlesticks to form 1 candlestick in the H1 chart. So it is easy to observe and make it a reference for counting levels. It is very aggressive, price swings in a wide range, and there's large spikes, which shows the end of the M market maker straight move. The stop hand marks the HOD or the LOD. Let's go to our chart and try to see what happens at level 3. I hope I still have time, because I wasted some of the time when I went out there. So we are saying we are in the H1, right? Let's just take this chart. In the H1, the maximum point that you can see is this one. That should be clear. Then this, it goes into consolidation. It's like a big formation. I wouldn't make it, call it a level. So in my account, I would rather go to this point and say this is my level 1. We'll confirm with the ADR. Then the retracement comes and it gives me the A top. So this will be the starting point of my level 2, and it goes down to that point. So that is my level 2. And the level 2 is sort of resetting itself. So if you were to mark this point, realize that it's almost like resetting. So I still expect another level going downwards. Right. Are you opening your demos there? Are you on your demo?
No, I'm not.
So what I wanted you to observe is what is happening at this point. The price, it came up nice. Then at this point, it went down, spiked there, went up again, came down, up again, down, up again and down, right? Then it went up again and started a smooth move that you can observe. That's why I was saying, to me, this is still level 3 behavior, which is a bit choppy and it doesn't show exactly where it is going. Then there's level 1 that comes in there. So you can check your demos later if you are not on your demo. So NZD USD, then go back to my ADR. So I'm telling myself that it has moved 2 levels. I'm saying it has moved level 1 and it has moved level 2. Remember I said level 2 is normally smaller than the rest. I'll explain why. So just to confirm, I measure my level 1, it's about 129 pips. I go to my ADR table. I go to my ADR table, NZD/USD, it's about 85 pips. That was 2020. And what I'm seeing here, it's about 120, right? So that's why I was saying this one is a peak formation. So I would say my level 1 actually started there. Then, but 121 is not very far from 80 something. This is exactly 89, right? So I can say, yes, level 1 done. I picked this one. This is about 84, exactly level 2 done. So I'm still expecting it to go down maybe another 80 or 84 pips from here. That is a what? That is a projection that you do. So level 3 behavior, that's when you observe choppy movement, consolidation within a range. If you go back, you can find this one. It's another typical level 3 behavior. This region, you can see that it's moving in about 69 to 70 pip range, but there is no proper movement that is being observed. So you can use that point as your point of reference when you are moving around there. So come to this chart, you see that at that point, it's again choppy behavior of level 3, right? So that gives you a reference when you start counting. That is what I'm talking about when I'm saying level 3 choppy behavior, right? I hope we are still together. So let's go back to our slides. I just wanted to show you when you talk about level 3 behavior and so on and so on, right? So at the end of level 3, that's where you find your high of the day and your low of the day. So this will be your high of the day, right? And the other one would be a low of the day. Right. So if the choppy behavior was downwards, this would be your low of the LOD, low of the day. This will be your high of the day. So this again is very useful when you want to enter your trades in the 15-minute chart. You should observe the 15-minute level 3 behavior so that you can confirm that there is a H1 level that has been completed. So this is a typical daily cycle. I think I talked about this Asian session, consolidation, move downwards on Monday, then you level 1, level 2, level 3, forms a W. At level 3, choppy behavior, it forms an M and goes back like that. That happens in a day. But the shape, you realize that is the same shape that happens in a week. So when you come in the morning, you mark your Asian session with this, then you observe a stop and it should go down if it is to move up, and should move up. If it should go up, then it should be moving down. Those are some of the things that you will need to observe in your daily cycle. So in a daily cycle, the Asian range is 25 to 50 pips, and it forms the first 8 hours of the day. Excuse me. Then it widens into the London session, and there's a breakout from the range during the London Open. So this is the range, right? Then the price breaks out of this range upwards. If it breaks upwards, that is a stop and high. It means the trend should be going down. This is the trap move. So when you are sitting there, you see 25 pips moving up, then it rests a bit, 7 pips up, rests a bit, 20 pips up, you say, the price is going up. You enter there, and what does they do? They put the price down. They chop around here, come back to the same point to form the second leg of the M, and they move away in the actual trend. So this is our daily break. Every morning when you want to enter a trade, draw the Asian session, know the level where you are, then wait for the stop and M or a W formation, then you go. So the aggressive moves soon after the Asian session show you the stop and then after that you move up there, right? This breakout may take 32 to 90 minutes, right? Let's go back to the chart again and look at what we are talking about, right? Because we want to demonstrate these things so that they make sense. Okay, let me delete this. Right. So this is the morning. I mark my Asian session. This was the highest point. Then I mark it to the lowest point. I check my time on the server. Remember, the server time is the one that you use. So sometimes it will not be in line with your actual time. So this is 8 o'clock on the server, right? Let me change the color of this. Right. Then what happens? We said this is level 2 and we expect a level to move downwards. So after the Asian range, we are expecting a stop and high. So before even it starts happening, you could come here and say you expect a stop and high, then a downward movement. They are leading the market, right? So that is what you draw after this Asian session. You don't enter a trade until such a thing happens. And like we said we expect this to happen between 10 o'clock. Let me find a tracer for 10 o'clock. Between 10 o'clock and between 10 to around 12. So I was expecting the movement to happen in this time, right? That is the time where I was expecting to observe the what? The stop band. So I marked that point and say the stop band should happen there. Then it didn't happen. It means even though I'm waiting to trade this, I will not trade it because the stop band didn't come. But then I know if this is to move, it should break out and form the stop band. So I wait. Then this time it was 3:15. Let's say that was half two. Towards the changeover, the price started moving up. You can see that this is an aggressive move. Let's check it on the 1 hour chart. You can see the candlesticks moving up like that, right? So now the price is moving. I wait and check, okay. So what time is it now? It's 3:15. We are into the changeover period. So I might expect the stop hand to make its aim here. So what am I expecting? Boom, it comes here, it leaves there, goes back and gives me a candlestick with a shadow. So I would say, okay, so probably this will be my area of interest. I am expecting the stop hand to be ending in this section. So if the stop hand ends in this section, how should it be presented? It should come up. It was coming up, right? Then it should go down, interact with one or two of the moving averages. It should go up again. So that is the first leg M, go up again. So here, I'm saying I'm expecting the second leg M, which gives me my motion, right? So after that, what am I saying? I'll be waiting for a reversal signal to OK. I'm waiting for a reversal signal to OK. So now I've seen my M after the stop hand, and I'm waiting for these two to go down, right? So again, it's forming up. So to clearly see, I remove my markings. And as you can see at this point, this was a 4 o'clock candlestick. It gave a pin. That's not very pronounced, but at least it gave a pin. So I want to wait for the reversal signal after that pin so that I can enter my trade. I wait for the reversal signal. So this is now my second leg. First leg ends with a pin, comes down to the moving averages, right? Then it comes back again. Now I expect it to move down after that. So after this pin, what I would do is maybe wait for it to close, maybe close to the previous candle, where the entry is something that we can discuss into detail. Remember, I said what you would want would be a 513 cross. So as we wait here, I'll be waiting for a 513 cross. Unfortunately, the moving averages are not there because I'm not using this template. So I'll wait. Okay, let me just add the 5 moving average so that we'll talk about things that we see. So I put my 13 moving average. Okay. And then I put my 5. I put my 5. Okay, let me just pick another color. This is not my template. So what I'm now waiting for is for this moving average to come down with the price, and then this 13 is the slower one. It should also come with the price. When this cross happens, then I enter my trade. So that is what you'll be waiting for. You don't need to rush. Remember, I said the setups may take even up to 90 minutes and even more. So you don't have to be be worried. You just wait for the setups to okay before you can enter, right? Let me just change the properties of these things so that they don't confuse us. Right, so I am expecting the yellow and the red to cross. The yellow should cross going downwards and the yellow will follow later. When that happens, I enter my trade, right? So like I said, the M formation, remember it might not come out M right away. That's why I say I've observed that there's an M forming there, but still I want the 513 cross to confirm that the trend is moving in my direction. Then I will enter my trade at that time. So that is what I was demonstrating to you on this point, right? Let's go back to our charts, to our movement. So the breakout, that's the stop band which I was showing you and how it forms around this point, right? Before the trend continues. Then, after that, 3 pushes of the stop band, they may vary in speed and extent and may be bunched up into a fewer candles. Then the end of the stop band is shown by a pin, so that's the start of the second leg W or M. It can also end with an RRR formation where you have 2 almost equal candlesticks, but with opposing directions. So this one was moving up, enticing people to buy. Then suddenly it's cancelled by that. That's an RRT formation. Then the duration between the legs, that means from here to there, maybe 30 to 90 minutes, even up to 2 hours. So that's why I was saying you have to exercise patience, right? Then, after this has happened and you have entered your trade there, your stop loss should be put beyond here. I normally recommend about 12 pips above the highest point that was reached there. Why? Because the price might come back to the same point for the 3rd time, and you don't have to be stopped out while you were already correct. So what does that mean? It means you measure yourself from here to that point. You measure the pips, then you add 12 to that. That will be your standard stop loss, which makes you safe. That means the price goes beyond that point, then that means maybe there's some change in the movement that is occurring. Right. So let me also stop the sharing here. I had some time with this meeting. We continue from the typical weekly setup. Go away. Maybe you can just wait for 3 minutes and come back to the table so that we continue. Remember, I'm recording this one, so there's no big problem. We'll continue from there, right? So I'm leaving now. Then we continue in about 3 minutes. Right.